My mother liked a lot about Amherst, so it seemed to be a good place to go to. And once when I was in East, I decided to go out to see it. My father called a friend who knew about Amherst, and we drove up together and spent a day at Amherst. It's a nice little school. These two guys indeed came to check me out. They went to the house. So they came down and invited me to join, which was a lot of fun. But at Amherst, you did two things. First, you got to know a lot of freshmen. You got to know people in your class. The war started, took the train up to Springfield, walked over to the Navy recruiting office, and said, I want to enlist. I said, fine. Guys were leaving college right away to get into the war. And the Navy wanted to keep this core of future officers sort of in, what do you call it, just standby. So they left us stay at Amherst for 2 semesters. Then all of us were called up after 2 semesters, maybe 3 semesters in Amherst, to go to Navy V-12 school. And we're all sent to Williams, which is funny because it's the chief rival of Amherst. But every college was bidding for different things. Amherst bid, got a pre-flight group, got a group of navigators, they got another group of weathermen, I guess, but they didn't have the Navy first thing. Williams did, so we went to Williams College. The history before that, 4 or 5 years before, Hitler had started going all through Europe. And he'd taken over France, he took over Germany, he took over many other places. He didn't take over Britain yet, but he was trying to take the world over. And we had a question in our country whether we should go in the war or not. We didn't want to get in the war if we didn't have to. One morning, December 8th, I guess, we woke up and one guy said, there's some funny news on the air. I guess it was radio then. I don't know if he had TV then. And that was the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor. No one even could believe they'd done that. But what it meant was we were in the war, because the Japanese apparently aligned themselves with Hitler, they'd be part of that, to wipe out the rest of the world. And so we had to do something. So we're in the war. Obviously, we're in the war against Japan, but then since we joined in the war in Europe, we're in the war of the whole thing. An honorary Bachelor of Arts degree, because I've been a veteran and coming there, would I be willing to accept it? And my first reaction was, oh no, I didn't deserve it, I didn't earn it, I didn't do that. Because Andy, the last year I got out of the Navy, I got out in July, I was free until September, went to law school, and I played golf. Trying to get instead of going back to college. A lot of guys went back to Amherst. And I said, well, what do chemistry majors do when they go back? After being away for 3 years, I can't do chemistry, things like that. I found out later they gave them a course in something else. It wasn't bird watching, but something that was equally important, but not there. But anyway, my first reaction, I didn't deserve it. And then I thought, well, I did a lot in the Navy, and I did accomplish a lot in my life, because especially having 4 wonderful kids. And so I guess I'd accept it. So I wrote and said, the first thought I wasn't sure, but now I'd be pleased to accept it, be delighted.